Hello, friends. Maria here, aka Wanjogo the Global Citizen. So, how are you doing, Global Citizens? I said I would do a video that is dealing with mental illness and share a little bit of my own story, but I want to go back to why I wanted to share this is because about 3 people asked me specifically how I deal with stress situations, and also there have been many suicides, on campus suicides, off campus suicides by young people in Kenya and other parts of Africa and actually other parts of the world. It's like a wave that is going on right now that is catching everywhere. My particular concern, of course, is my people, my African young people, because we don't want to lose the young resources to suicide and to feelings of distress. And I wanted to put my face out here, and I've done it before. I want to put my face out here as the face of somebody who's gone through this depression, clinical depression, psychosis, suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, and came out on the other side. And not to glorify suicide, but to simply say that this is an illness, and to share what I learned in that process as a young person, and as a young person away from home, as a young person who sought assistance, but in many places wasn't able to get it, but mostly what I learned. But before I do that, I want to share what depression is. Many of us think of depression as something demonic. You know, people always say, "Are you mad?" or "I've gone crazy," or "I've lost my mind." And so many of us, when we begin to feel these depressive thoughts, or our minds begin to trick us into hurting ourselves, we hide it instead of sharing with it. And I'm going to quote from the American Psychiatry Organization, because this is the go-to people at this point. And what do they call depression? They call depression major depressive disorder as a common serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. But fortunately, it is also treatable, and depression causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems, and can decrease a person's ability to function at work and at home. So most people who are depressed or who are feeling sad to the point of wanting to harm themselves may just be feeling sad. They've lost interest in what they want. They don't want to eat anymore. They cannot sleep, or they are sleeping too much. They have no energy to do anything, or some of them are just hyperactive. They feel tired all the time. They feel their life has no meaning. They don't want to talk to anybody. They feel worthless. They feel guilty of things. They cannot concentrate, and their mind continues to race about issues that don't even concern what they're dealing with currently. And their thoughts of suicide, hurting yourself, or even hurting other people. So, and these symptoms could last from 1 week to several weeks. So, and months, and some even years. So check yourself. Sometimes we are just going through a phase of sadness. So if you've only been feeling sad, or any of these feelings, or a few of these feelings, for about a week or 2 weeks or less than that, hang in there. Do not do anything drastic, but instead seek people who you know can support you. and your family, if they're supportive. If they're not supportive, please don't go to them. So I've seen many people that are writing online and saying that they're feeling sad and that they want to give it all up, and then they come around and read other people's comments. Please don't do that. Once you write online, that is your cue that you're seeking help. The minute you begin to type that, say to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm ready to get help. And seek out somebody real. Seek out somebody real, somebody who can support you. Don't follow your mind. Those thoughts of hurting yourself, those thoughts of ending it all, the minute you're there writing that, I'm gonna end it all, goodbye everybody, thank you for this, I'm planning my funeral, or this, that is the illness, my friend. That is the illness speaking. I have been there. And thank God it didn't succeed. Thank God somebody came through and found me. And I later learned that is the illness. That thought of I'm gonna end it all. That is the illness. That is the headache of the mind. I've learned to call depression or those sad feelings the headache of the mind, the heartache of the mind. And it can be triggered by anything. It can be triggered by a breakup from a relationship. It can be triggered by getting fired from a job. It can be triggered by continued stress, maybe from lack of a job, from relationship issues, from illness, from all kinds of things. So that in and of itself does not mean you're hopeless. But I want to emphasize that here is what it's not. This is what it's not. If you're feeling those feelings, it does not mean you're a loser. It does not mean that you've gone crazy. It does not mean that it does not mean that the devil is attacking you. It does not mean that now your life is over. It does not mean that that there's no help for you. What I am encouraging you to do, and what I did, is I sought medical attention. And doing that does not mean you're a loser. I know, for example, in Kenya, or actually it's not just in Africa, it's everywhere in the world, including the Western world. When people seek assistance for mental health, everybody feels like they've lost everything, that, they've lost their self-esteem, they've lost their self-respect. They've hit rock bottom. But my feeling, my encouragement to you is, if you do not feel like that about a migraine, if you do not feel like that about fracturing your leg, if you do not feel like that about a stomach ache, why would you feel like that about the illness of the mind? And here is another question. We have so many life stress right now. Why would you expect yourself to be okay all the time? You've just lost the love of your life. Why do you expect that you would be okay, my brother, my sister? Seek support. Let us give ourselves permission to feel heartbroken. Let us give ourselves permission to go through days of distraught without thinking we want to end it all. Let us give ourselves permission of crying and weeping. Let us stop trying to think that either we have to be super strong or nothing at all. There is an in-between, and the in-between is the healing. The in-between is where you seek help. The in-between is where you cry. The in-between is where you eat and eat, and or whatever it is. Some people just drink and drink. I'm not suggesting you go drink. But it is a moment of just feeling sorry for yourself. It is okay to feel, woe is me. It's okay. And don't let people talk you into be strong. Don't let people talk you into this is life. No, it's not. It can be better, but this is not the worst. It is okay to experience a temporary moment of dissatisfaction. If you go to the hospital, the wards are filled with people who are having temporary moments of dis-ease of the physical body. The mental ward is where people are having moments of disease of the mental mind, of the mind. And if you feel you want to break down, go ahead, break down and check yourself in. But let us give ourselves permission to do that. Death is not, once you die, I don't have a negative aspect of death personally. I think once you've passed on, then you receive the peace that you were seeking. I think you receive peace. I have no negative thoughts about that. I don't think you're going to go to hell because that's the route you took. I don't think so. I'm just here telling you, hang in there. I am an example that you can heal. You can heal. You can live a complete healed life. You can live a fuller life. If somebody broke up with you, why you gonna give it all up because somebody doesn't see your worth? If today you're broke and don't know what to do next, hang in there. That breath that woke you up today may have something different tomorrow. But once you give up, you will never know what can come next for you. If you are a believer, find one verse that holds you. Find, and say it over and over and over and over and over. If you have a song or a song genre that supports you, listen to it over and over and over until you lift yourself up. If there is a food that you like eating and that will lift you up, then eat that food over and over and over until you feel better. If there is somebody that you enjoy talking to, talk to them over and over and over. But what you need to do is get as far away from people who are encouraging you to hurt yourself further. Get as far away from people who are not showing compassion towards you. Get as far away from people who do not understand that you're going through a difficult time. You are human. You are entitled a moment of weakness. It is not the devil. It is not rock bottom. It is not the end. It's simply you being human. I was in the mental ward for weeks, not knowing whether I'm going or coming in a foreign country with people I don't know. And I got out of it, I got out of it. And by the grace of God, I finished my education. I got a PhD and I went and I've traveled the world from that point. And some people stopped talking to me. Be prepared to lose friends who think that mental illness is catchy. It's not catchy, but you don't need those friends. And I lost friends. Oh, well, and some jobs, some people still think that it's around me. Some people use that identity with me. Some people say that's the girl who got crazy. And my sister, my brothers, there is nothing more freeing than being called crazy. When people agree that you're crazy, you're free. You are free to be whatever you want. So do not end your life because of an illness that can be treated. Just like all illness you're not going to recover overnight. Do not expect that of yourself. Do not expect that you're going to stop feeling heartache every day. Do not expect that you're going to stop feeling sad tomorrow. But if you surround yourself with the right people, if you go seek the right medical attention, if you support yourself by believing in your own divinity, because if you're alive today, it means God loves you. He gave you breath. God woke you up today. It means he's not done with you yet. And when you have nothing else to hold on to, go ahead and pull this video up and say, look here, this girl who calls herself Maria Wanjogo, the global citizen, went stark crazy out in the street, got captured by the police, got put in the mental ward, hanging there for a little bit. And she's out here telling us we can do it. She's out here saying, if I hang in there long enough, the light is going to come, that there is a solution for me. This is simply a headache of the mind. So if you are at a university, do not give that opportunity up because of somebody, some boy, some girl who doesn't see your worth because you broke up with somebody. If today you lost your job, remember there was how you got it. You can do that again. If your body is filled with illness and you feel you can't go any longer, but the doctors have not told you it's over, do not decide it's over. Hang in there. Been there too. Been really sick. Been in the ward. Didn't know how I was going to make it out, but I hang in there and I'm 100% well by the grace of God. I've been without that money. You know, I've seen it all, people. I've seen it all. And here I am to tell you, do not give up. As long as the giver of life, the giver of breath has given it to you, trust me, my brother and my sister, you will make it out. You will make it out. And this is up to you. I am not going to speak to anybody how to support you. This is up to you. Direct yourself to where your heart feels nurtured and drop anybody. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your whoever, who is not directing you in a path of healing, of love, of self-upliftment. Let that go until you feel better. To feel better is up to you, and you can do this. There are doctors who have trained specifically for this special field. Go seek them. Go seek them. If you don't have money, camp outside their ward and say, I am not leaving until you take me in. Why? Because if you have the wherewithal to watch this, it means you're not completely out of awareness. Okay? It means you're still with us. It means you're still lucid. So do everything you can to come back all the way. And let me be your beacon. It is possible to come from out there picking those leaves, those trees, eating crap, to the mental ward, to back to school, to a full-fledged surviving person, and doing better than you can possibly imagine. So if this blesses you, if this uplifts you, please watch it over and over again and seek that which uplifts you, whatever that is. Also, share this with anybody else who you think needs to watch it secretly by themselves. Just remember, if God is for you, who can be against you? With God, you are a majority. And no, it is not God's will that you should suffer. This is some of the outcome of being in this three-dimensional universe. It's just an illness of the mind. It's a heartache of the mind, just like you have a stomachache, just like you can break your leg. It is no more than that. We are just not trained to see it for what it is, my brothers and sisters. Do not give up. Do not give up. As long as there is breath in your life, you can do this. So God bless you. Share this around. Hop over to Wanjogo the Global Citizen Facebook page. If you're not on there yet, like it. I share thoughts and usually about how to survive in the diaspora, but also I am supporting people who email me. If you need somebody to talk to, please email me, Market Argent. I will talk to you wherever you are. God bless you. Stay strong. It is well. Bye-bye.